Okay guys, so let's talk about the article of the week. Today we did the annotations and we highlighted 4 sentences that have the main idea for each section. So this article, you could tell the sections because it has some subheadings here. So we have the introductory section, and then we have preventable failures, this section, and then we have complex failures, and the last one we have are intellectual failures. So make sure that you have these 4 sentences highlighted green. I hope you can see that's green. So freeze if you need to see it. So here is the first 2 in paragraph 3 and 4, and then here are the second 2 in paragraph 8. So freeze it if you need to, and then in paragraph looks like 12. Paragraph 12. Now, race, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but let's talk about summary. So summary is the last thing you need to have. It needs to have 5 sentences. Remember, a summary never has evidence. So you need to make sure that you have 0 quotes in a summary. Race and pretty much everything else, we have to have evidence. So that's the big divider between a summary and other answers. And I know some of you are really, you hate race because of the evidence, but it's real life. You have to prove that you found it, and you'll have to do it throughout high school. You'll have to do it in college, and you have to do it in the workplace too. So you always have to prove that you found information everywhere you go. So what you have, I think most of you, I asked you on the title, I asked you to put quotation marks around the title to remind you. So I think period 6, 7, I want you to add that right now. And then we know that this is an article. So we're going to work on the summary. We're going to work on it together. So we're going to write the IVF together. So we know it's an article. So let's say the article. So I just started with the article. So I tell you what it is. And it's by Leah Fessler. So I'm just going to get the author's name. And I'm going to use the front to help me on this. So I'm going to flip it around, because to identify it correctly, you have to spell it correctly. So by Leah Fessler. So here is her name. And then we know the website. So we're going to say on QZ.com, capital Q, capital Z.com, on August 23rd, 2018. So I have so far where you could find it, when it was published, who wrote it. It's an article. Now I need the title. Called, here goes quotation marks, and I have to capitalize exactly the way it looks on the actual paper. So I'm going to be very, very careful. There are 3 types of failure, comma, but only one you should actually feel bad about. So here I have it. Now notice how capital T there, capital T3, capital T type, capital F failure, capital O, capital Y, capital S, capital A, capital F, I don't know what that is, bad, capital B, and capital A. I'm reading backwards, so it's hard. So here's all the I. Now I'm going to give it a verb. Well, first of all, let's think about what this article is about. And we highlighted it in the green. We highlighted the sentence in paragraph 3 that says, realizing that not all failures are the same. So we can even simplify that, because it has to be our own words. Remember, summaries are our own words. Let's use the verb explores. So here's my verb, explores. And now I'm going to cross off explores, or sorry, verb. So I have my checklist. I got 2 things. Now I'm going to put my finish the thought with the central idea of the whole article. And I forgot what I just said. I said the 3 different types of failure, such as preventable, comma. So I'm just paraphrasing it. So I'm just going to plunk in the 3 types, and I'm not going to make them proper nouns because they're not subheadings. We have preventable, complex, and intellectual. So here, in my own words, I've identified, I gave it a verb, and I finished the thought with the central idea. So I'm going to cross that off. Now, we have to have 4 sentences. 4 sentences. And the cool thing is, we have 4 highlighted sentences, but we have to paraphrase them. We have to paraphrase them. And it's the main ideas in the article itself. So first, the author, I don't want to use described, explained. That, oopsie, all failures are different. So I basically took that first sentence from the introduction, and I'm just paraphrasing it. So there's my first thing. So I've crossed off transition and paraphrase detail number 1. So here I am, exactly right there. Now I need to go to my next transition. Next, did I say first? Yep, next. So the next thing she talks about is the failure you had the knowledge and ability to prevent for preventable failures. Next, she elaborated. So I have my transition, and I'm going to say something about, she elaborated on preventable failures, which mean you could have prevented it from happening. So I have a transition, and I have my second paraphrase detail, so I cross that off. But there it is, so if you want to pause it and get it down, go for it. And then we're going to jump to, let's see, first, next. Ooh, I'm going to use my transitions from my binder. The new one, I think it's number 9. In my 3rd section. Got a little sequence issue, didn't I? Let's talk about it. Let's look. First, next, ooh, in addition, see, I'm getting more sophisticated. So here's another transition word, in addition. I'm gonna cross that off. I need, ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4. My scoring guide is off. I need 4 details. Don't worry, we got it. In addition, I'm going to use her last name, Fessler. I've explained, elaborated, well described. Complex failures. Which could have been avoided. Oh, which, let's say this, which could also be unavoidable failures. So like a failure you just couldn't avoid, but it was complex. You didn't know it was going to happen. So I just paraphrased part of that from paragraph 10. So there you have that. And then I want, so that's my paraphrase. I need another detail because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need one more, finally. Ooh, let's do another one besides finally because I think I wear that one out. So let's look. Oh, let's see. Let's do equally important. Equally important. This is my last one. Look at that beautiful summary. Well, it's pretty good. We need to talk about intellectual failures. Okay, here we go. Equally important, intellectual failures. Take place. So I'm just paraphrasing the green part. We highlighted a green. Intellectual failures occur when experimentation is necessary. It's from right here. We highlighted that. So I'm just going to paraphrase it. Intellectual failures occur when experimenting is necessary. Now that's pretty close to the words, but it gets the point. So we have 5 sentences. We have a beautiful summary, and now you are almost halfway done with your assignment. Okay, when you're done with this, you are going to grab your book, 8th graders for your book club, and 7th graders on the round table. You're going to grab your book, and when you do that and you plunk your Chromebook away, then we'll talk about next steps. Thanks.